Welcome to Real Talk Real Women. My name is Miriam Khalladi and today we have Miss World Fitness Connie Garner from Queensland, Australia on the show. How are you, Connie?
Hey, Miriam and everyone. I'm really good. I'm so glad to be part of your show. I've seen a couple of your interviews with other people and it was really inspiring. It's such a great project.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's start at the beginning. What got you interested in fitness?
Wow, I had a pretty groovy path to fitness. I was a dancer as a young girl, and I did a few years of that. Then I started high school and I played every possible sport. I think I did that just to get out of schoolwork. And then I had a PE teacher, physical education teacher, who was an aerobic instructor, and she kind of inspired me to get to the gym and do aerobic classes. And from there, I went on to sport aerobics, so the gymnastics version of aerobics, the sport aerobic competitions, and I won a couple of state championships there and had a great time. And then obviously, you do so much in a sport and then you sort of look to something different. And then I looked around and I found, obviously I was watching Fox Sports one day and saw fitness competition. I was like, that's fantastic. It just ignited something in me that I had to do it. I was going to stop anything and everything until I got there, and it was just inspiring. And those women, in their day back, there was I can't even remember how many I was watching. There were so many different shows, and I just used to watch. I was addicted to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
great, yeah. You're based in Australia. How do people perceive the fitness industry over there? Is it very different from the US?
Fitness competition wise is, yep. Fitness, basically, there are no real fitness competitions in Australia anymore. It has really been and done. Basically, it's fitness model competition now or figure. So they've almost died totally in Australia, which is so sad because I think it's a really good in between. You don't have to diet to almost mega extremes that you do in figure. And it gives the women who want to do more than just stand around in a bikini, on stage, and showcase a bit more talent. So I think it's sad for Australia, but yeah, look, as far as fitness goes, it's the States or really not at all. Unless you want to do one show a year, and that would be a shame. Nobody's going to get enough experience. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so really, for you fitness girls in Australia watching this, you're going to have to take yourself overseas to get some more preparation.
On your website, you state that you also love to help others achieve their fitness goals. What do you like most about helping others?
Look, the opportunity to just share information freely. I love to give people information. I have, my website. I have a Facebook page, and obviously my YouTube channel. I've got a few different things where I try to give people information freely because, when you've got so much out of a sport, you should give back. And so I love being able to share information and training tips and ways to stay healthy and fit and motivated. I'm really big on motivation because if you don't have motivation, it doesn't matter what else you've got if you haven't got the motivation to do it. So a lot of my information will be on motivating yourself and finding out what motivates you. And a lot of my things are taglines of, how to keep motivated. And I spent a lot of my time during my fitness career listening to Tony Robbins because I think there is no better motivator. He clearly is the leader of the pack. So I think everybody in anything, any sport, any business, anything that requires motivation, absolutely search for him, read everything, listen to everything, take from it what you want. You might not like everything, but that one little tip that gets you going just might be the thing.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
You're a big believer in education. How important is it for people to educate themselves on nutrition and fitness, and where should they start?
Yeah, absolutely. I made so many mistakes at the start of my journey into health and fitness purely because it wasn't like it is today. You couldn't get on the internet and read so much and learn so much. You had to ask people and ask questions at competitions because the information just wasn't around. This is talking about very little information was out there. And I made a lot of mistakes on the way, and that's why I'm a big believer. If you're going to go into a competition or you want to learn about anything in life, this is the information age. The internet has everything. Like, you can find out as much as you need to know about any topic. And really, if you're going to do something, do it well. Read about it, learn about it, watch everything you can. Why do I say that? To stop you making mistakes like I made. My first competition, I was almost pale on stage because to me, one coat of tan was going to get me brown enough. Oh my goodness. When I look back now, I just laugh because I just looked like I had no tan at all on. And that's such a silly, silly mistake that I could have avoided. Had I realized that under those big, bright competition lights, you need to look ridiculously dark in real life. You can't go and say, yeah, I look brown, I look good. And so I just want to help others not make mistakes, that can cost you. It is a learning curve, and I had fun. I don't regret, learning things the hard way, but why would you if you don't have to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Your motto is train with desire to be better tomorrow than you are today. Tell us what you mean by that and why this is so important for you.
Yeah, look, I believe that everybody should be looking to be better tomorrow. Like, where I am today, I'm happy, but tomorrow I know I can be better. And that is in anything. That can be in my aerobic fitness, my muscles, my amount of training smarter, training harder. Whatever it is, I just look at each day as an opportunity to be better than yesterday. At whatever it is, whatever I wasn't happy about, evaluating what you did yesterday, what you've done in the last week, month, where you're at, goals. I'm huge on goals. I have plenty of articles on my website about goals and setting them and achieving them. But my training motto, training with a desire to be better tomorrow than you are today, is purely that you've always got room to improve. Nobody will ever be at their peak. Like, you might be at your peak, and that's where you're mentally going to stop yourself from getting better. If you think, this is it, I'm fabulous, I don't need to get better. You should always push yourself, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
You just mentioned about setting goals. Can you share some goals of you with our viewers?
Yep. So goals, especially around competition, you have very strict goals. You have a body fat maybe that you want to be down to. You might have how lean you want to be or how strong you want to be. You might have routine bits that you may want to perfect. There's so much, especially around a competition, that you set goals to achieve. It can be just purely, to nail your routine every time you do it. It could just be your diet. There's something you want to, tweak in your diet. You just need to set goals to make sure that you're on track, because otherwise you just don't know whether you're going to get to the point you want to be if you don't have goals to achieve them and then obviously measure them along the way.
I agree. Thank you.
Yeah. I think everybody who is at least a little successful or who has performed at any level has goals. You just have to. Otherwise, you're sort of lost.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going. Yeah.
Desire is something that you carry within you. How do you deal with external factors like negative people or difficult circumstances?
Yeah. Look, I've had, family used to always say to me, spend too much time training. You do this, you do that. You have to push it aside. You really do. There's always going to be the negative people that, whilst you're pushing forward and they're not, they see that as a bad thing. And you often find people who try to pull you back. Really, you've got to be confident in yourself. You've got to trust that you know what you're doing and what you want to achieve. And you just have to stay on track. And you have to tell negative people, that's okay, that's your opinion, and I respect and understand it, but this is where I'm going and this is what I need to do to get there. I found family, especially my mother, was really, you're training too much, you're going to hurt yourself, and they just don't understand. So you kind of, balance between, I don't really want to tell you, that you don't understand, but I need to say that I know what I'm doing. So you've got to balance negativity. You're going to get that anyway. You get it whether it's good or bad. You're going to get negativity, and stay true to yourself. And you really just got to not listen to it. Put it behind you.
When it comes to the importance of exercise, you said exercise is just like eating, sleeping, and breathing. It is necessary to your survival. How so?
Look, I think once you're a regular exerciser, you get those natural endorphins that make you feel good. And then it just is a habit. And I think it's a habit that you form. And when you do it long enough, it is essential. When you don't get it, you don't feel as good, you don't feel as happy. You'll find that it is just something you need. Your body needs it. Especially me. I've gone, competition time, you're training 3 to 4 hours a day. So that's a huge amount of exercise that your body's intaking. And even when you go down to off-season and break periods, I still find your body craves it. So to me, it is just like eating, sleeping, and breathing. I know some people find that concept quite strange. If they're not regular exercisers, they think, well, it really isn't. But once you start exercising, you realize it is. It makes you happy. It makes you feel good. It's natural. I think that's where we came from historically. Before we all had cars and everything, we moved more. We did more. We just naturally exercise. And I think that we need to get back to the roots of it. And some people maybe not exercising as much aren't as happy because they're not. So I think really everybody should just try it if they're not doing enough. They'll soon find it's really part of our makeup. And I have lots of funny mottos, don't I? I come up with lots of funny mottos. They're just things that are for me, and I don't know if they click with everybody, but that's just one for me, that it is as natural to me as sleeping, eating, or breathing. Yeah.
What has been the most important lesson you've learned during your career?
Wow, that's a really difficult one. I think to stay true to yourself. I think persistence is probably the biggest. It's not a lesson, but it's the most important thing I think that I've had. I was just able to persist. Like, I didn't have a whole heap of support while I was competing or anything, but I knew it's what I wanted to do, and so I was persistent, and I think you have to be successful. You can't expect to go into a competition 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and that everything's going to fall at your feet. You're going to have good competitions. You're going to have bad competitions. You've just got to persist. You've got to keep going. If it's what drives you, and it drove me, it's what woke me up and what kept me going through every day. So I just think persistence is the one thing that I'm really glad that I took from that and was able to just keep going no matter what.
Thank you so much, Connie, for being on the show. I really enjoyed having you on the show. Where can viewers go to learn more about you?
Okay, you can go to my website, www.missworldfitness.com. You can go to my Twitter page, which is Twitter/MS and you can click all those links from my website directly: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and everything. And obviously, I'm going to promote this lovely show so that other people can have a look at me and other great fitness inspiring people who you have on your show. And thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
You're most welcome. I will make sure to put all the links below this video.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. I was a little nervous. I'm sorry. I just, it's funny.
Me too. So,
yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers?
No, nothing I can think of. There's so many things. I'll get off later and say, oh, I wish I had a thought of that. I wish I had a thought of that. But look, I think as long as you're doing what is your passion, what you love, you will be successful. Really choose and find the thing that you're passionate about. If it's fitness, excellent. If it's health, excellent. Whatever it is in life that really drives you, go and do it to your best.
I agree. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you
again,
so
Connie.
much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay,
My name
bye,
is
Miriam.
my name is Miriam Khalladi, and I will see you on the next episode of Real Talk, Real Women.